want him back. But somebody who is here is Richard Pombo. And how are you holding up?
I'm doing great.
You
Great to be
good.
back.
You look better than I do, man. Good to have you here.
I'm used to it.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever been through a campaign this kind of, I don't want to say muddy, but it's been different?
Yeah, it has been different. There's no question. I've definitely never been through a primary like this.
This is just a primary.
Yeah, you expect a primary to be above board. You really do.
Yeah. And this is not the final horse race. That's what's so weird. It's just a primary.
Yeah, and in 06, I got beat up, and I had the left come after me, and that was pretty crazy. But having said that, I have never seen a primary that is broken down this way.
Now you're from, I'm down here. You're from up there. What are people saying about this race up there?
Well, it's, down here in the Fresno area, people think of it as, because Jim Patterson is down here, it changes things, and up north, it's a different race.
Yeah, it is.
Than it is down here. So, there is a difference depending on where you are in the district and what's happening.
Geography plays a big part of this one.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of people here in this area who think, oh, Jim Patterson's got luck. Not so.
No, absolutely not.
So. I love Jim and all that, but up there, like you just said, I'm just repeating what you said, it really is a different story. Yeah. So it's a tale of two cities. It really is.
Absolutely, and the way that they gerrymandered all these districts the last time around, there are separate areas. There are definitely different geographic regions throughout the district, and it's something that you have to address. And in a primary like this, it's a big part of what I've been trying to do over the last 5 or 6 months here.
Is anybody talking issues anymore?
I would love to.
Well, what are the constituents saying? Are they talking issues?
Yeah, they are. They are. I was up at Kennedy Meadows this weekend and had a chance to go through a number of the campgrounds and talk to the people up there, and people are interested in what's going to happen with the water issue. People are interested in what's going to happen with the resource industries. Obviously, people are talking about the budget mess back in Washington and how we're going to attack that. So people really are interested in the issues.
Now, locally, there's been good news with the water issues and Judge Wanger's last 2 decisions, and there could be more good news on the way. Respond to that.
Well, it was an important decision. The latest decision was an important one because it does set the government back on its heels. And basically what he's telling them is you didn't do the work to justify the action that you took. And I'm not aware of another case anywhere in the country. In all the years I've been working on water and endangered species, this is the first time I've ever seen a case where the judge actually told the federal government, you don't have the facts to back up the actions that you've taken.
And I'm glad you're here for that reason, because if anybody would know, you would know. You've worked this stuff down to the nubs of your toes. So
I've been doing it for a long time, and when it comes to endangered species issues, I doubt if there's anybody that's spent more time and energy on it than I have.
But I was going to ask you, you've not heard of a case before where judges basically extended the middle digit of the government and said you've been derelict in duty?
Yeah, and that's absolutely what he did in this particular case. It doesn't solve the problem. It bought us a few weeks. Is what it has done. We still need to change the underlying law, but it did buy us a few weeks. It did buy the west side a little bit more water. Hopefully it's going to force the government, it's going to force Fish and Wildlife and National Marine Fisheries to stop before they do the same thing to the east side.
But even with that catch-22 in the ruling, though, because we've had so much rain from June 31st on, the pumps are still going to flow.
Yeah, they are still working right now.
I'm with you. It's not the end of the problem.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination.
But in June 15th, we're going to end up with a different decision, because he's going to go back in and he's going to look at the smelt.
Taking the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, right.
And we could end up with, maybe 40% of our water, maybe 45% of our water for the year. When is that a victory?
Or he could say, same deal.
He could.
Government, you've been derelict in duty on this one, too.
He could.
You haven't looked at mitigating circumstances up the road there where all the pollution is. You haven't looked at the predation of the other species. You've just been looked at these pumps, I'm simplifying here, way too long, and you've not given credence to all this other stuff that's been dropped in your lap. And I've way oversimplified there.
Yeah, but that's what we've been calling for years. When it comes to endangered species, you have to look at all the factors. What actually caused the numbers of species to decline?